Perfect.
All right, my name is Jesse Stewart here. I'm here with Mike from US Ski and Snowboard here within the athletic conditioning department. I'll have him introduce himself and then ask him some questions about his resiliency.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm Michael Bingaman. Work here with US Ski and Snowboard. I'm the athletic development coordinator for men's alpine specifically.
Okay, well, we've been talking a lot about this resilient-based training approach in terms of connecting the mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual. And something that I've been really interested in watching over the last couple of years is your connection with the mental and physical. And I was wondering if you could kind of tell me your thoughts on the connection there.
Yeah, man. I've competed in a lot of different things, and from CrossFit to Olympic weightlifting to mountain biking, and to me, when I train those things, it's impossible. It's impossible for me to separate the mental and the physical. And I know you can train them separately, but I think it's impossible to go through a real physical training program and not incorporate mental, or not recognize how intensely connected the mental is to the physical. And if you're not paying attention to that, then you're just doing mindless training. And you can have the exact same program, but if you're not deliberate, the whole idea of deliberate practice, if you're not deliberate with what you're doing and paying attention every single rep, every single movement, then the whole thing's a waste. And there's so much research now done on deliberate practice and the idea of trying to get everything out of every single rep and everything you're doing. And that's something I try to push with my guys, is like, you need to be in this moment. You need to be intentional in this training session. You can't just come in here. If you come in here and just do the workouts, as they call it, completion grade, I'm just checking these boxes, you got to do this, you're going to squat, and then going to lunge, and just do it, you're not going to get anything out of it. And you can come in on the flip side, do the exact same workout with intent and get something out of it. And so that's a big thing that I push, is be intentional, be in the moment when we're doing what we're doing. Don't slop through it, or it's going to be a waste of your time.
Yeah, that's spot on, and that's something that I've really put a lot of intention into. I think most of us we live in fear of the past. We're scared to death of what's going to happen in the future, and we forget about the present. Mm-hmm. And this is one of our sponsors here, You versus You, and I just love the concept of it's you versus you. It doesn't matter what's going on over there. It's what's going on within your box. So it's absolutely awesome. Something else, we just met one of your athletes, George, who's suffering a pretty serious MCL, PCL injury. I've looked and tried to encourage these athletes, like, hey, take advantage of this time to put a little bit more emphasis on the mental, emotional, spiritual, while you're being held back by the physical. I was wondering, I'm sure you deal with a lot of athletes that are injured. What are your thoughts on that? Why do you push that?
Yeah, man. The first thing, and an interesting thing, obviously it depends on the individual, but a lot of these guys, especially the alpine guys, love to train. They want to be in here 24/7, even if they're injured, even if they're rehabbing, they're trying to come back. So they're doing everything they can. And an interesting piece tying in with the mental is that they want to be in here training double sessions every day, 6 days a week. And what happens then is they get so burnt out on what they're doing in here that when they actually come back to full strength and get a chance to really train with their whole body, they're so burnt out, so burnt out already from pushing way too hard without much to do, and then you can't get any quality training in the back end. So what we do in this time is we do encourage them, like, you can't be in the gym 6 hours a day every day right now. We don't even have anything to do. Like, especially your early phases of rehab, there's not much we can do. And that's when we're pushing them to, you need to be looking into the meditation, into the mindfulness, into the mental side of things. With George, I'm like, look, go learn German. Do something that is very important for the sport. We spend a lot of our time in German-speaking countries, but you don't always have time to do because you're so preoccupied with the training. And when you can't train on snow and you can't get as much dryland training in, that opens up this avenue to focus on these areas. And again, going back to the mental, I will admit, with a lot of these athletes in here, what I can provide for them is not the thing that they're lacking the most. And a lot of the guys are incredibly strong, incredibly fit, and getting them 0.5% stronger won't do nearly as much as getting them more dialed mentally to be able to capitalize on what they already have physically. And so it's never a good thing when somebody gets hurt, but it's always a cool opportunity to redirect them to be able to focus on those type of things.
Yeah, I heard, someone else inspired this, and I just stole it. But I'll never tell anybody that things happen for a reason. to them. I'll say it myself all day long. Anything that's happened, they don't feel sorry for me. It's part of the fabric of my story, and it's gotten me to the place that I am here. But what I will say is, while everything may not happen for a reason, everything that happens gives you a reason for action.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I told Jason Woolley back in June when I met him, and he's in a cast and he couldn't lift it all. I was like, this is an opportunity for you to learn some of this. And Lucas Foster put some emphasis on this, the mental side of things, and see where it goes. And now both of them are. I mean, it's awesome to see how they're doing right now compared to 6 months ago when one was 17 and one was 18, and to watch them compete. But man, I am really looking forward to talking to you more about this stuff, and hopefully doing some more collaboration in the future, particularly with the relationship that's being developed with the speed guys. Because in my opinion, when I first came here, it's like, oh my gosh, the whole entire ski team is the Ranger Regiment, right, or Ranger Battalion. And then you realize, well, okay, maybe it's the Alpine, no offense, cross country and snowboard, or whatever, and then you realize, okay, well, maybe it's the speed team or some other part. And bottom line is, to me, it's just inspiring. And Jared Goffner, I think is the last name, he was asking, like, dude, why do you do this? And
Goldberg,
thank you.
Yeah.
So he's like, why do you do this? And I was just like, you know what, man? I say a couple reasons. Number one is, the main thing that veterans lose when they leave the service, they lose their sense of purpose. And to be able to bring guys in and work with you guys gives them a sense of purpose. So if they have some small part in you winning, that gives them a sense of purpose. And the other side is, like, I want to see you freaking win. I'm American, man. I'm a winner.
Yeah.
Do you know how much it killed me to watch the CEO of the Norwegian speak right in front of me? A country of 5.4 million people that won 69 medals or something like that, and then us 334 million, and we won 17 as a team, and then 25 overall. And I mean, we want to support winners, and I think U.S. Ski and Snowboard has an awesome opportunity over the next few years to just get an established base of fans that want to see them win, want to support them win, want to acknowledge, hey, you don't have the resources Norwegians have, so we want to give them to you, and we want to help make that happen. But man, this is one of the guys that's behind the curtains for all the success of the athletes. And like I said, man, it's been just over 2 years, I think, since we first met.
Yep. And
we finally got to work out together. And you kicked my ass. It was awesome.
It's because you just arrived at altitude.
Yeah.